name is Lowenstein. Together with Richard Sidlow, I present a paper entitled Cognitive and Visual Diagnostic Errors in Dermatology, Part 1. Why this topic? While making the correct diagnosis is crucial, diagnostic process itself is poorly understood and is, by its nature, flawed. This is because diagnosis is a hypothesis, a theory based on assumptions about and interpretations of clinical and laboratory findings. This definition of diagnosis primes us to the fallibility of a diagnosis, to its potential for error, and the diagnosis process is indeed error-prone. Diagnostic errors across specialties are repeatedly found to be between 10 and 15%, as compared to the rate of air traffic accidents of 0.2%. The consensus in the literature is that diagnostic error rates remain unacceptably high. More than 75% of diagnostic errors are cognitive in nature, and the majority of these are due to flawed information processing. The purpose of this paper is to explore the flaws we make in visual perception and interpretation of dermatologic findings. Heuristics are mental shortcuts, practical methods used in decision-making strategies. An example of the application of heuristics is an experienced driver driving a car in ordinary conditions. Think of when you drive and after a few minutes you realize you have gone a few miles and you didn't notice it at all. We in dermatology use cognitive and visual heuristics regularly in making diagnoses. For instance, the image of grouped vesicles on an erythematous base will elicit a diagnosis of zoster reflexively. There is a subset of heuristics that are related to visual perception. Data shows that it takes as little as 200 milliseconds to make a visual diagnosis. This cognitive ease is due to the use of heuristics. Are you skeptical? Think of how you can scan hundreds of monotonous seborrheic keratoses in seconds and recognize them as benign. This paper focuses on the specific heuristic approach to diagnostic problems which we have developed in dermatology. The heuristics of dermatology are listed here. Each of these heuristics has strengths and weaknesses. Heuristics are hardwired and necessary for us to function, but are also inherently maladapted for complex decision-making purposes. By allowing our perceptual filters to treat assumptions as facts, heuristics can create the illusion of knowledge. This paper is relevant to dermatologists as it delves into the basic cognitive mechanics of how we make a diagnosis. An awareness of the strengths and weaknesses of our process and the flaws inherent in it is a necessary precursor to avoid error. In the second part of this two-part series, potential solutions to these cognitive visual pitfalls, including metacognitive techniques, are discussed.